Hello, hello. All right, so I am super excited. I love digging into the topic of the narcissist, or what some people call a difficult person, because it's such a juicy topic. And right now, I love the fact that Trump is in office because he's shining a huge light on what exactly a narcissist is and allowing people to get what that impact is. And they can see really clearly, because he's such an extreme case, they can see really clearly the behaviors. So I want to call this out as far as you being able to either work with them or avoid them in your business, because either scenario presents interesting challenges for you in your business. If you are trying to work with clients and they're actually a narcissist, then you could be beating your head against the wall thinking that you're not getting somewhere, when it's not about you not being able to do your job properly. It's just a matter of who they are. So let's talk a little bit about the narcissist and what some of the characteristic qualities are. And I know a lot of people tend to, put this narcissist thing into this big bad evil, this horrible situation, but it's just a matter of, I think it's a matter of getting to the place where you recognize some of the key characteristics and understanding where they're coming from, so that you know how to interact, engage, or respond, or just avoid altogether. So one of the main things that is really always a challenge for my clients when I work with them, for a challenge for them to actually get, and I have to spend a fair bit of time to get them to get this, but you as a non-narcissist person, I'm assuming you're non-narcissist because you're actually watching this, but you are, you care about other people. You care about how you affect them. You care about how you interact with them. And the thing is that recognizing that a narcissist probably doesn't care. That's really hard for a person who does care, because you can't see that somebody would possibly do things intentionally to irritate another person so that they get what they want. And that idea that someone would actually intentionally do that is kind of mind-boggling for those of us that care about people. And so understanding that they're not interested in whether you feel good or don't feel good, that's really important. And the other big thing that's really important for you to get is that for the narcissist, their main objective is to feed off of your emotional response. So now it starts to make more sense, where we see, the typical love bombing, where they'll love up on you, they'll spend all kinds of attention on you, and they make you think that they are the most perfect person in the world, whether it's a perfect client or perfect supplier or a perfect partner. They play up on that to hook you in, to make you feel like you are part of this piece, part of this, entrapment. Hey, Pinky. They make you feel like you are their world, their everything. And for someone who is, who's more empathetic, you think, wow, this is great. Oh my God, this person really loves me. And the fact is, they don't care about you one way or the other. What they're looking for is to feed off of your emotional reaction. And this is a really hard piece for people to get, that someone would actually just want that. So, but if you start to accept it, you can start to see the patterns in what they're doing and why they're doing it. And granted, it's not necessarily easy. You're not necessarily going to get it just from watching this video and go, oh, okay, that's what they're doing, great. Usually it takes a bit of processing to, to work through the different layers of your resistance of why they would, why they wouldn't, and internalizing it, letting it sink in. But for now, I just want to put that out, that this is really what it's about, is that they want to feed off of your energy, your emotional reaction. So positive or negative, whether you love them or whether you hate them, they're getting an emotional hit. They're getting that energy coming in. Yeah. And like vampires, they're feeding off of you. And when they want more of a feed, they will provoke. And so it's either to love bomb you some more and, get that like, oh, wow, you're so awesome, or to provoke you. And quite easy, honestly, we know from ourselves, it is easier to provoke somebody. It's easier to poke at them and get that energetic emotional reaction from the angry side than it is from the love side. So this is why we call them difficult people, because they are actually looking to be difficult. I know it's a really hard concept for most people to get, but yes, they want to be assholes. They're trying to be assholes because that pisses you off, and then they get to feed. It's very self-serving. And when you start to realize that that's what's going on, then you can start to change your dynamics with them. You don't get hooked in. You don't get sucked into this, and you can start to see what is happening in the situation, right? So I'll use Trump as an example because he's such a great example. I love it. So you look at what he does, and he will start something to create a disruption. His latest thing is this whole separating the kids. I would be willing to bet money that he is doing this intentionally to get a rise out of the population and to distract them from something else that he's doing. So when I see a narcissist doing something like that, my question, where I go in my head now, is what do they not want me to see? What do they not want me to pay attention to? Because what they're actually provoking is not what they want you to be looking at. That's the thing. It's like when we get that, when we see that what they are provoking is not what they want us to see, then you can take a step back, because everybody, like, there's so many people in the world that are reacting emotionally, being highly charged about these things that he's doing. And it's like you are feeding him. You're continually feeding him. And I know this is like, I'm sorry, but all you people that are emotionally reacting, you're fucking part of the problem, okay? Because you keep feeding him. The only way to really stop a narcissist is to stop feeding him or her, okay? Male or female, they can be both. We've had lots of examples of both. So I typically say male because it's the version of the narcissist that tends to be more visible. Hey, Jen. But women can be just as bad at narcissists. And in fact, you know, because there's those two types. There's that grandiose, which is out there, larger than life Trump. And then there's also the victim type where, you know, everything goes wrong in their life. Everything's going bad, and they suck people into helping them all the time. But when it comes to actually changing something, they don't actually want to change something. So they're the ones that you really got to watch out for clients, and the grandiose are the ones that typically you have to watch out as suppliers, because both sides can really screw up your business if you're sucked into it, right? So on a business side, the grandiose narcissists are what I see typically. I see a lot of people getting sucked into coaches that don't deliver, and they're very grandiose in, you know, what their promises are, and they're great at ad copy, and they sound so confident, and they've got all this stuff. But you got to check in with your awareness, and that's the training that I do with the inner dominatrix, is to really get you finely tuned in to being able to check your awareness and know whether someone's going to deliver the goods or not deliver the goods, right? If you are sitting in this scarcity mindset and you're afraid and you just are going to jump on something, you're probably going to get sucked in. So standing in your inner power is going to stop you from wasting your money on that side of it. The victim narcissists are the people who, you know, they're probably going to come to you with some big sob story. I need a deal. I need a break. Oh my God, this is what's happened to me. And, you know, my parents are being so mean. And, you know, the ex, he's being so mean to me. And da, da, da. And again, I'm going to use the female pronoun here because typically the women are more in the victim narcissist, the covert narcissist side than the grandiose. It's typical. Not always the case. I've met both on both sides. I love these people, and they drive me crazy at the same time. So the victim ones, they will be the ones that will screw you over as far as paying you. They'll be the ones that will suck up all your time. They need, you know, 50,000 emails answered. They need so much hand holding. They're going to suck up your time. And so again, you need to be aware in business who is. one of these? Who is that piece? So recognizing them is going to be sussing out, again, really being able to check in intuitively. Do they actually want to shift and change? Do they want that? Or are they looking to feed off of you by having you feel bad for them? Right? And I know, again, like people think this is crazy. Why would you stay in this victim mode? No, that's great. It's a great way. You have all these people going, oh, you poor thing, and oh, let me help you here, let me do this for you, and I see it. And this is the victim type, or the narcissistic type that has hooked me in the last few years. Like, they're the ones that I don't tend to see as quickly. And so it takes me a little longer to spot them, but I do. So now I tend to, like, I've actually gotten to a place where I have a physical reaction to narcissists. And so that's my little radar that goes off. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, back off. Anyway, those are some awarenesses. The reality is there's about 15% of the population that would be identified as having narcissistic character disorder. That means that anywhere you go, there is bound to be a narcissist in the room. So if you go to a networking meeting and there's 20 or 30 people, there's probably 2 or 3 in the room that are narcissists. If you are in a business and you have employees, there's a good chance that you are going to run into them in interviews. There's clients, all of these things. And it's not to be afraid of it, but to understand how to work with them, how to spot them. They're all about them. They just want to feed off of you. It's an awareness. It's not. And it's the less you make you wrong, the easier it is to spot them. That's the big thing. And of course, getting to the place where you stop making you wrong is all about what I do. That is the whole thing with claiming your inner dominatrix. It's getting you to step into your power, getting you to step into your divine energy inside. So hopefully this has been helpful, gives you some pieces. Of course, if you are looking to go deeper, if you want to dive in and really claim your inner dominatrix so that you can rock your business, I would love to have a conversation with you. Have a fantastic day. Oh, actually, just point out, Jen has pointed out she gets tingles in her feet. That's her little sign that she gets when she meets a narcissist. So you can pay attention to what may be your clue of what's coming in for tipping off that this is a narcissist that you're dealing with. And so you can change how you're interacting with them. All right. Have an amazing day. Take care.